Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025.
I am worried for Superman Legacy, directed and written by James Gunn, set for release in July of 2025. When DC announced the big event of the DC Universe Gods and Monsters, James Gunn said straight and foremost, despite the other films coming out, that Superman Legacy would be the, quote, true beginning of the DC Universe. Well, there's some worry I have, and let's get underway and discuss why there's some worry and some confusion for me about recent casting decisions made that could impact Superman Legacy and the effects it will have on the Superman mythos with the other heroes popping in. Writer-director James Gunn has just recently secured our new Man of Steel and leading superstar reporter of the Daily Planet, David Cornsweet, and Rachel Brosnahan as our leading Clark Kent and Lois Lane respectively. But that's not all. We haven't gotten confirmation about who will be Lex Luthor or who will be Jimmy Olsen. However, we have been getting a flurry of casting updates coming our way, including Anthony Carrigan as Metamorpho, and joining with him will be Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl, Eddie Garrison, and as Mr. Terrific, and Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner Green Lantern in the upcoming film, with confirmed appearances of members of the Authority, a proactive group of superheroes that were created by Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch's The Authority series in the fallout of Wildcat and Stormwatch's downfall in the Wildstorm universe by Jim Lee all those years ago back in the 90s. While I've enjoyed all James Gunn's superheroes movies, including Peacemaker and the Guardians of the Galaxy saga, and I'm very excited about the release of Superman Legacy in summer of 2025, which will be the quote true beginning of the DC Universe, I am following concerns following the events of all these castings, since this feels like a reminding mistake of what happened in the DCEU, more specifically Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, where they included too many characters and started teasing other stories instead of focusing on the one coherent movie. Now, to be fair, I do like Batman v Superman, and I do like Zack Snyder's Justice League cut movie, but the concern is still there, and I am indeed worried. It's just been this stressful period that just hearing this thing and all these castings, it gives me optimism that James Gunn knows what he's doing, but yeah, it's also kind of concerning at the same time. According to James Gunn, each casting choice is intentional. Each new character introduced in Legacy will contribute to the story of Superman rather than take away from it, saying in a Threads post, I have never used one movie to set up another movie. The reason of the character's inclusion is to enhance Superman's story and not solely for the purpose of setting up other projects within the franchise. Now, to be fair, James Gunn has done some good projects with an abundance of characters, such as iconically the Guardians of the Galaxy saga and the Suicide Squad film, along with his successful Peacemaker series, and they have been pretty good and successful in that regard. However, considering I was looking at this project and thinking, okay, this is going to be a massive Superman mythos story, especially since you're including Crypto the Superdog, which is proudly awesome. James Gunn, credits to that. I am worried that this is going to lead into some oversaturation of heroes and characters. But, like I said, James Gunn has worked with an ensemble cast of characters, though having them all be from different corners of the DC Universe in what is considered the true beginning of the DC Universe, even though Blue Beetle has been confirmed to be part of the DC Universe project, James Gunn and Peter Safran have really kind of booked themselves into a corner with this casting process if you're just going to have more characters beyond just, well, Superman mythos or legacy characters. Like, I don't want to see Supergirl show up in this yet, especially since she's going to have her own movie down the line. Like, maybe they'll be showing up in a post-credit scene, or maybe perhaps showing up in cameo appearances, like they're all watching Superman to really get a feel for this character and really see, is he on our side or is he a threat? It's certainly going to be up to that. If they go with that route, the damage will be less significant, but it will be cool seeing these characters show up. But fans have had this worry before in the past, especially with Batman v Superman and the overcrowding of characters beyond Superman and Batman. Like, first it was Batman v Superman, okay, that's the name of the movie, so, yeah, it makes sense. But then you start hearing more characters pop in. Now, at first it was going okay, like Lex Luthor. Now, whether or not Jesse Eisenberg can make a good Lex Luthor is a completely different subject altogether, but we'll move on from that. Wonder Woman's showing up out of nowhere in this story that's primarily focused on Batman v Superman. Then the appearances of Aquaman, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller the Flash, and the legendary Ray Fisher for Cyborg, who was originally supposed to be the heart of the DCEU project according to Zack Snyder during the making of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Which sucks that we'll never see Ray Fisher again in DC, considering how they screwed him over big time, and if you checked out his podcasts and interviews with people on YouTube and everywhere else. And while people have their issues with Man of Steel, and to be fair, there are some issues you can give, it was primarily condensed and focused around Superman and around his mythos. Now, Superman Legacy will not be focusing on his origin story, the destruction of Krypton and all that hijinks ensuing. Instead, it will feature an early Superman in his early days, much like Matt Reeves' The Batman. And The Batman was a pretty damn good movie in my eyes, though some people do kind of wish it was part of the new DC universe, but it's right now being condensed and sewn into its own separate universe as part of DC Elseworlds. Joining the other properties such as Justice League of the DC Animated Universe reboot that reformed after the events of Darkseid and Apocalypse Wars, which was okay in its full totality, but really that's what it was, just rebooting the universe to give way to the quote rebirth period of DC animations. There's also Teen Titans Go, a show I refuse to watch, mainly not because of my love for the past, but mainly because I do not like the show as much as I tried to watch it and much to lose my mind over it. Oh, and Joker and his sequel being made, yeah, that's also part of DC Elseworlds. It's a lot of properties. We don't know the full extent of how far this is going to go, but we did learn that recently at San Diego Comic-Con we're going to get a Watchmen animated movie. Yay, Alan Moore, cue Alan Moore's rage. And we're also going to get Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I'm hoping will be a lot better than the CW show, because I kind of want the scale and full scope of it whilst maintaining its core intimacy. The fans still reeling from the loss of Henry Cavill and Amy Adams as the respective Man of Steel and Lois Lane have put David Crosswell and Rachel Brosnahan into a difficult position to try and prove to the world that yes, they are the new Man of Steel and Ace Reporter of Daily Planet, and they're here to make their mark in the new DC universe. Now, I'm all for having Henry Cavill and Amy Adams come back down the road. I would certainly love to see a Kingdom Come movie be made, because let's be real, that is a story I've been wanting to see be told in the DC Universe animation scene, or a live-action Elseworlds story. It'd be pretty good and would give a sense of closure for those who grew up with the DCEU casting, and if they include Ezra Miller, then I'm pretty sure everyone will hate it. Now, speaking from all this, what is the worry for Superman Legacy? The overcrowding potential problem for James Gunn, the amount of storyline threads they're going to do to build up to this overarching theme that James Gunn, Peter Safran, and his team of writers have concocted for this 10-year plan? Maybe, perhaps. But, like I've said, James Gunn is a fantastic director and can tell a story with this amount of characters, as I've said, through the Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy, and especially after he concluded Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, after the mixed reception of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's fourth phase, along with the TV shows and all that. Yeah, considering he had to somehow top all those stuff and somehow be consistent, be great, and not be overly complicated with the multiverse angle they're going for, it's a testament to how good he is and how much he was able to do his own thing. To see him work on this and be the lead architect for the DC Universe with Peter Safran is a commendable challenge, and I'm looking forward and hoping for the best. This is your host, Eric Brown of Neo Reality Collective. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Give me your thoughts on this topic down below in the comments, and I'll see you all again Oh man, James Gunn, I'm wishing you luck. I really am. I'm wishing you the best of luck in this, and I'm hoping to see Superman Legacy just steal the show and bring about joy and hopefulness to the DC Universe projects and really reignite the comic book fans' hearts in this endeavor. Peace and take care.